Going into the topic today about toning muscles, and I talked about this a little bit in my newsletter, but the reason I want to expand on it more is because we were watching the football games here Sunday night, and one of my friends was scrolling through Facebook and they saw one of my posts, and it took a paragraph from the newsletter, and it was talking about women's weights and using pink dumbbells and stuff for toning muscles, and they're like, ooh, controversial. And I hadn't thought about it being controversial in any which way. And I was like, what do you mean? I was like, oh, women's weights, whatever. And I was like, okay, that wasn't meant to be controversial at all. And if one person said it to me, it means that other people I like to think that other people looking at it probably thought it was controversial as well. So I wanted to expand on it a little bit, and it all revolves around this idea of toning muscles. So basically, for those who didn't read the newsletter, um, it was a gripe I have about some gyms that have a small women's section of the gym, and they have like the light dumbbells, the pink dumbbells that go up to like 2-3 kg max, and a lot of images online about women lifting weights, but it's showing them with incredibly light dumbbells. And there's very little training effect of that unless you're doing 50, 60 reps or something ridiculous. The point being that women can lift a lot more weights if coaches challenge them to, and you're not going to be challenged if you're in this small little weight section and you're given these tiny weights. If I was a woman, I'd be upset with it. It's just you're not getting a desirable training effect. But let's look at the reason behind that. The pink dumbbells are marketed. It's marketing here, and it's the marketing effect is that they will help tone the muscles. There is no such thing as toning. I'm gonna have to be careful how I use my words here. Lifting a heavier weight is going to give that desired toning effect. Now, you can get away with moderate weights and lighter weights, depending. It all depends on the exercise here. But let's say, for the sake of this argument, we're going to be talking about the bigger exercise that give more bang for your buck. Your squats, your dumbbell deadlifts, your presses, your rows. For them, 2 kg weights are not going to cut it. There's no two ways about it. Unless you're at the very beginning of your journey, those weights are not going to cut it. Basically, okay, let's talk about getting more bulky and bigger. Yes, those people will be using weights, but it's also down to calories. And let's look at The Rock, because when it comes to jacked up monsters, I mean, The Rock, everyone can visualize the size of The Rock, but that man has to eat a lot of meals. I mean, when he was training for his movie Hercules, where he was probably the biggest he's been in movies, at least up there, hence he had to be like Hercules. Like, he was eating 6 meals a day. And let me just run down the meals for you very quick that he put up on his Twitter at the time of promoting that movie. His first meal of the day was a 10-ounce fillet with 4 egg whites, 5 ounces of oatmeal or a cream of wheat. His second meal was an 8 ounce of chicken, 2 cups of rice, 1 cup of broccoli. His third meal was an 8 ounce halibut, 2 cups of white rice, and 1 cup of asparagus. Now, right there is probably enough for most of us that we'd consume throughout the day. But of course, he's got 4 extra meals to add on. He's got 8 ounce chicken, 12 ounce of baked potato, 1 cup of broccoli. After that, meal 5, he got 8 ounce of halibut. He's got 1.5 cups of white rice and 1 cup of asparagus. Meal 6, 8 ounce of fillet, 9 ounce of baked potato salad. And in meal 7, he's got another 30 grams of casein protein, 10 egg whites. And he's had 6 meals already, and now he has 10 egg whites. They're scrambled with onions, peppers, and mushrooms. And 1 cup of lime blood, he says at the very bottom. But my point being, the amount of food that man has to consume to maintain, grow his muscles as well. So the point being that you need to eat a lot of calories to get big and bulky. When we are lifting weights, the muscles are not soft. You don't have, whether you're training or you're not training, your muscles are not soft. That softness you may be feeling in your arms, that's fat tissue. Strength training and lifting heavier weights can help lower that fat tissue and increase your muscle size. Now, I have to be careful here. Increasing your muscle size is not going to mean you're going to get big and bulky. It's going to mean there's going to be an increase in size, But if you're lowering that fat tissue, overall, your appearance is going to be more of that toned look if you stay consistent with it and your calories are in check. Getting into that calorie deficit will help lower your body fat percentage. And then when you're strength training and when you're lifting heavier weights in certain exercises, what's going to happen is there's going to be an increase in lean muscle tissue, and through that your basic metabolic rate is going to increase. And when that increases, it means your calories are going to be burning when you're not exercising for longer throughout the day, and that's also going to help give yourself a calorie deficit, which is going to help give that toned look. And what I find when I'm in the gym doing my own training, there's like some women you could see could lift and challenge themselves a lot more, but they might be afraid of getting big and bulky when it's so hard to get big and bulky. It's so hard to put on that muscle size. Like I said earlier, you have to eat a ton of calories for it. Now, it's a completely different podcast topic, but there's a lot of guys that probably should be lifting a little bit less and getting their form right. Completely different issue. But basically, if you're a little bit confused on whether you should lift heavier weight or not, if you could do let's say we'll talk about goblet squat here. A goblet squat would be holding the kettlebell with 2 hands by your chest and squatting down and up. If you could do 3 sets of 10 with that, and you're not feeling too bad, and you're getting to that 8, 9, 10 rep, and you're like, oh, that felt okay doing it, the weight is too light. You need to go heavier. And try to even go for 6 reps. And what that's going to do is going to challenge you to lift heavier so that you're really feeling it on the 4th, 5th, and 6th rep. And if you're able to do those 6 reps with perfect form, but your legs feel pretty tired and sore after 3 to 4 sets, you're in the right range then for your weight. You're going to challenge yourself more, and over time you're going to get better results. It's going to be a completely different training effect than what you're used to. Your legs will feel sore for the first session or 2 afterwards because of a different type of training. But over time, you are going to get that toned look that you are looking for here. And you're probably saying, well, if there's no such thing as toning, why do we know the word toning? What is it? It's basically marketing. There's no two. It is marketing. There's no such thing as toning. But you can even see the way I'm somewhat struggling to explain what I'm talking about here. And like when I'm trying to I'm cherry picking my words when I'm talking about an increase in lean muscle tissue, because I'm instantly thinking people are going to think they're getting bigger and bulkier through that. It's just much easier to say toning when it's not exactly what's happening. But the problem with toning is it leads to the lighter weights and getting 15, 20 reps in. There's a time and place for that. But if you balance out your training with some exercises, generally after your warm-up having the heavier weights, and as the workout progresses, then go to your 8 to 12 reps with your lighter weight, and then with the smaller muscles like your bicep curls or your lateral raises or whatever it is. And if you mix and match them, you're going to see results with consistency from there, as long as your form is right. Health and safety is number one. As long as your form is right doing the exercises, lift heavier, and you're going to take your training to a whole nother level.